I got a wicked sweet tooth tonight. And I want my candy bar.
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review for the Purge election year. This is the third movie in the Purge franchise. This is an older film, guys, so I will be doing some spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen the movie or you don't want to be spoiled, then please don't watch the video. However, if you don't mind spoilers or if you have seen the movie, then of course, continue watching. One thing I haven't mentioned yet, and it was quite intentional, was when these Purge movies take place. And I had to look into it a little bit further before I even done this review just to make sure I was correct. However, the first Purge that came out in 2013 was set in 2022. The second Purge was set a year later in 2023, and election year was set in the year 2040. Yes, it was set in 2040. The funny thing is, we got Leo back, and he doesn't look any older. It just looks like a year later, to be honest, or 2 years later. And he's playing the same character. He's got the same backstory with his son being killed, but he doesn't look any older. Now, we can obviously put that down to an oversight. Maybe when they filmed The Purge or wrote it, they're thinking, oh, we didn't think about Leo and his character. So I don't know why they've done what they've done. However, this movie was set in the year 2040. It's also random as well that because it's set in 2040, you would think there would be some advancement in technology. However, there's no advancement in technology either. Everything just looks like it's still these days. If you thought Anarchy got a little bit more political, then you can't get any more political than a film called Election Year, and it involves senators in this one fighting against each other, most notably focused on Senator Rowe, who is against the Purge because 18 years prior, she was the sole survivor during a Purge night where all her family members were killed and she was spared. So she hates the idea of the Purge and she's running for Senate so that she can end the Purge indefinitely. The problem with this is her rivals want to continue the Purge so that they decide every year the government officials are immune from being attacked on Purge night. However, on this night, they don't want her to run for Senate, so they want her to die. So what they do is they remove that restriction so that anybody and nobody is safe from the Purge, so anybody can be attacked or killed during the Purge. And because of this, it's now Leo's job to protect the Senator Rowan, from being killed. And the story itself is quite similar. The actions that Leo takes are quite similar to the second one, where they end up out in the streets and they have to travel from A to B, picking up strangers on the way, getting helped by strangers on the way, and just surviving the night. Another good thing though is, just like Anarchy, we're introduced to new characters, and we aren't just introduced to new characters to get thrown away. Similar to Anarchy, these characters have got backstories and you feel for these characters and you travel along with these characters, hoping that they can survive the night. Joe, Marcus and Lainey are the new main characters. Joe owns a store. He's proud of his store. He doesn't want to leave his store just in case anything happens to it on Purge night. He's got Marcos with him, who he came up from Mexico and Joe took him under his wing and he wants to make him partner in the store. And with Lainey, she seems like she was a troublemaker when she was younger, but she's learning her ways through Joe so that she's now working with Joe. But the problem with Lainey is she's got a bit of a hot streak, and on Purge night she decides to go out when she doesn't have to, go out on Purge night as a medic with her friend to just try and help people on Purge night that have been attacked and didn't die. Dante, aka the Stranger, is also back. He's now the leader of this resistance who want to take down the government for having the annual Purge. So naturally they would team up with Senator Rowan because Rowan is also against the Purge. So you've got Leo, the Senator, and Dante's crew that get together so that they can try and take down this Purge night once and for all. But the people who are in favour of the Purge have also got a plan of their own. They obviously want to kill Senator Rowan and they'll stop at nothing to do that. Yet again, there seems to be more action in this film than horror. Yes, you can still call it a horror movie within a horror franchise, and there are horror elements to it when people are almost getting killed or getting killed just for fun on the Purge night, but at the same time there's a lot more action, a lot more gunfights, knife fights. So I feel like this is more of an action film than a horror film, just like the second one. Frank Grillo steals the show again as Leo. However, close behind him is Joe. I think Joe was fantastic, a really well-rounded character, a guy who he can be a bad guy in a good way because he doesn't trust anybody, but at the same time, he's also got morals and he will protect people, take them under his wing like Marcos and Laney, and he'll protect anyone who's willing to help him as well. So he's one of these guys who just doesn't have any luck. On Purge night, he gets a phone call from the insurance company saying his premiums are going up for the store on Purge nights and he can't afford it. But at the same time, because he can't afford it, he feels like he has to protect the store as well. So Joe was a fantastic character, and unfortunately Joe ended up dying at the end. He doesn't just die and that's it. He dies by protecting the senator as well. That's one of the highest honours he feels like he can do, to protect the end to the Purge, because without Senator Rowan, we would still have the Purge, and he doesn't want that to happen. So he puts his life on the line to protect the Senator so that eventually the Purge can end. I think the good thing about Senator Rowan is she gets the opportunity to kill her rivals time and time again, but by killing her rivals, she would be protecting herself by doing so, and she would have every right to do that, but she decides not to kill them, because by doing that, she's also going against what she's fighting against. So she decides not to kill the people that are trying to kill her. She wants to make an example of them and show the people that we don't need to kill people on Purge night. That's not what it's all about. Just fight against them with words, and this can happen. By not killing this guy, by protecting herself, she wins the election and she puts an end to the Purge at the end of the film. But as we see at the very, very end, it causes a mini uprising for people who are actually for the Purge. Overall, I was still surprised by this movie. I thought being the third film in the franchise and being more heavy-handed in politics, I wouldn't like it, but I still really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the action, I enjoyed some of the horror, the characters were fantastic yet again, and the politics weren't too heavy-handed, even though the film is called Election Year. And it is because, and I've said this before, the politics are quite unrealistic politics. Therefore, I don't take myself into the real world when I'm trying to escape into an action horror film. The politics are there, but it's not too heavy-handed. So for me, I thought it was actually okay having the politics there. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But what about you guys? Do you think with a third movie in a franchise that's ever changing and ever evolving, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Do you think they should go back to the pure horror roots like they did with the first Purge? Or are you okay with them expanding into this universe a little bit more? As always, guys, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played in the cat?
Someone's in the back!